So today on Project Shop, we're finally going to be getting onto this lathe. What we're going to do here is, first of all, we're going to suck off all the dust as much as we can, clean this off, vacuum it, and then we'll get the air blow over here, blow the rest of the stuff off that we can't get out. And then we're going to hose it down with some more WD that was sent to me from one of the subscribers. And then we got the Scotch-Brite, some rags, and some towels, and we're just going to clean this up like we cleaned up the milling machine over here, and hopefully at least get this thing fired up today. Now this thing is pretty cool. It actually came with a ton of like quick release stuff, ton of carbide, boring bars. We got Norlin bits, and we have this whole entire thing full of collets. Okay, and then there's a 4-jaw chuck in there. We got a 3-jaw chuck over here, and then there's more stuff down there we'll get into. But one thing I really like, it's got a huge motor in here, way bigger than the milling machine. This is what I'm impressed with. I'm always impressed with like wiring. Check this out, man. This thing's got so many relays and switches and all kinds of doohickeys. I have no idea what's going on in here. That looks like it's cracked. Oh, shoot. That ain't cool. That might be a problem. What is that? That's a power, coolant. Okay. Yeah, that is not cool. That's just like falling apart. We're just not going to touch that. There's a transformer there. We can pull some copper out of it if we have to. So hopefully this thing actually starts up. But imagine trying to figure out all this stuff. We're gonna need a schematic for that, and what all this stuff does. So I'm not sure. I don't know if we're missing gears or what the situation is here. We got a gearbox, we got a selector knob, feed, thread, left and right, high and low. Some type of disengage thing. This thing's more set up for collets, but it does come with these chucks. I did figure out that that is a brake or something, or stop. I guess that's how you get the things off. But this thing does have wires, so I'm assuming this thing has digital readout. We don't have the thing for the digital readout, but I'll talk to the guy that I got it from and see if he has it. It does look like it incurred some type of damage here. Something's bent back here. It has this cool little thing to protect you from getting slapped with coolant, I guess. Yeah, and this thing's actually sitting on like a homemade cart, so it's a lot higher than it should be, kind of like the milling machine was. But at least today we're going to get cleaned up and at least try to turn it on and see what happens. Hopefully it doesn't blow up. Okay, we're making a little headway here. I'm starting to pull some things off. I'm actually going to pull as much of this stuff off as possible. I pulled the tailstock off. The ways looked really good under there, but up here, and I was actually afraid of this after watching Inheritance Machining. He actually, someone gave him not a feeler, but it was literally the same exact lathe, which this one and the one he has is a replica of the original. But he had a problem where right here from this bed and all this weight riding back and forth was actually worn out. There are some scuffs and like little pits and stuff like that. I don't know how bad it is. He actually made like this really cool 3-legged thing, put here, and one back here, and he was actually able to measure this whole bed and came up with how low this is. And I think the only way to fix this is to take this off and have it resurface ground. I don't know if that's an option for me or how bad this really is, but a couple things I did notice. You know, there's chips and rust up under here. This is going to take a little work. All of the rubbers, just like on the milling machine, except for those rubbers, look okay. These ones, I mean, they all probably need to be replaced. And then, you know, this thing just needs to have a good going over. I don't think this thing's probably run in 10 years. It's going to take a little bit to get this thing going. I'm hoping that we don't have much problems with the electronics. It looks like that switch, I don't know, that solenoid, that could be a problem because it literally, that's like the main power. So we'll worry about that after we get it all cleaned up, but at least we're making some progress. This thing is filthy. It definitely needed this bath. I've been, over the past couple months, coming over here periodically just hosing this thing down with WD-40. Hopefully we can get it running. I kind of want to plug into 3-phase. This is a 3-phase machine. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to run it off the same 3-phase inverter, so I couldn't run the milling machine and the lathe at the same time, unfortunately, unless I get a bigger phase converter. I'm gonna have to look at that motor that's in here, man. That motor is huge. That's only a 5-horse phase converter, but he did say that thing powered both of these machines when he had them running in his machine shop. So hopefully we don't have any issues with that. So I'm gonna take a little break. We're just gonna kind of hose this thing down again, let this WD kind of soak into all the crevices, and you know, get this thing freed up all this dirt and grime and grit and just, you know, years of sitting, man. Machines like this don't like to sit. This shit happens here, man, and then it starts ruining stuff. So we want to bring this thing back into operational condition, you know, and start making some cool stuff with this thing, man.
For the ocean, I'm at the bottom of the sea.
Okay, here's where we're at. We got a pile of parts, and I'm pretty much taking this thing down. Man, that was tough getting this freed up. I need to get this off, and I'm pretty sure that's like a countersunk with a screw underneath. It's the only thing I can think of. But I need to get that rust out from underneath of there. Now, I tried to pull this off and it was stopping because they had a giant wing nut holding that coolant thing off. But now, I'm pretty sure this thing is going to slide right off. Oh yeah. Look at that nastiness. Yeah, we had to take it down this far. Look at that. That big old thing. Hopefully, I don't know if that's a Allen key. I'm not sure how that comes off. Maybe it comes off from the top. But here's our adjustment thing. This other one had one. It's pretty interesting how this works. It's got 2 screws in there. It felt pretty tight. I don't really want to mess with that. But that basically just wedges them in there. But we had to get it down this far so we can get this clean. We're gonna go. This is about as far as we're gonna go taking it apart. I mean, honestly, I'd love to take all of this apart, but I can just imagine what kind of stuff and bearings and things, and I don't want to go too far. I just want to get it clean so we're not running rust back and forth and fired up. I am concerned about that switch, but we'll see. I'll break out the voltmeter and do some electrical if I have to. But we are going to have to get new rubbers. These are kind of just like the Lathe, where they're not, they're just deteriorated. So this here, I'm assuming is a oil. I don't know. Should be oil coming out somewhere to pump oil in the ways. So we might clean this up and pull that off. Here's the sensor. There's the thing there. Looks like it kind of just rides in there. We got to be very careful not to damage that while we're cleaning it. I don't even want to mess with it. I guess I could take it off if that's just a quick way of getting it off. I don't know. But I do want to get that off so I can get this rust cleaned up. So I'm going to work on that. Steve's working on the grill. We're going to fire up some gourmet burgers here and you know, have ourselves a little party. Look at this. I'm pretty sure this groove is supposed to be the oil in ways. Look how nasty that is, man. This needed to come off. There's no way that was getting oil. You know, you're supposed to be able to, like the milling machine, I guess, pump that and oil comes up all through the stuff. If that's the case, then that means there's a plugged hole here and a plugged hole here. We'll have to suck that out and get those working. So we got a little bit of work ahead of us, but hey, it's a start, man. I probably should have turned this thing on just to see if it was actually going to run before I even did this, but this had to have been done, man. We got to get this rust out of here, man. We can't be having this. Depending on what happens here, and yeah, I might get into, I really don't want to take all this off, but we might have to. I don't know. Okay, here's where we're at. I can't get this thing off, and as you can see, there's numbers. It's hard to see. There's actually hold on, let me get this thing turning. It's hard to do with one hand. So there's actually numbers. I don't know if they're coming in, but there's numbers all along there where you can turn this, right? But as you can see, every time I turn it around, it's wiping the rust. And here's the problem. This is what you have on the top, okay? And it looks like they broached it, and there's like a pin so that that doesn't rotate. But here's the issue. On the bottom, it's just a round thing. There's no, like, I thought I would be able to unscrew this from the bottom. That's not That's just perfectly round. There's no... It's not an Allen key or anything. It's just like a drilled hole. So I was thinking at first, maybe that screw, and I was thinking this screw has to come all the way out so that this will just slide straight up. The problem is, I don't want to break anything. I'm not sure how far to go with it. This thing locks this down, okay? So when you tighten it, it pushes on there. And then if you look at this, see that high spot there where it was like rubbing clean? Like from cranking down on this, it pushed it, you know, that little bit of pressure probably pushed that metal up. I don't know. But when you go this way, you literally only get this much motion out of this. Now, I don't know if there's so much dirt and stuff in here where it's not letting me back this out. I don't want to break it. So, if anyone knows what to do with that, or if you come across anything like this or have any ideas, or should I just back that out, put the impact on it, and maybe it's just dirt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this video. Maybe someone has some suggestions. In the meantime, I'm going to do my favorite thing, and we're just going to hose this down, right? Let that soak a little bit with some WD, and I'll clean up these other parts. I have all of this to clean up. I'm really glad I took this apart, because this stuff is just filthy. I don't think this stuff may have never been taken apart. So that's where I'm at now. I'm going to call it on this video, let that soak. Hopefully I can get some responses. In the meantime also, I'm going to do some research online. I'm not sure what this part of the lathe is called. I'm going to see if I can't bring up like a diagram with all the different parts. But I would like to get that off so I can get the rust out from underneath of there, get it properly lubed, because I just don't want to be moving this thing around and have rust just grinding away under there. So let me know if you think that's the answer, if I should just run that out. It just, to me, it's just the way it stops. When it stops, it actually tightens this thing back up. So I don't know what's going on. So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about this, and we'll see you on the next one. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before? got some more high bays. Now, unfortunately, these ones here got some cheap plastic domes. But nice cast housings. The first time I seen them with metal tops.